Stuck in silver and wondering why you're not ranking up? In this video, I'll break down the biggest mistakes that hold silver players back in Valorant. These tips helped me get out of silver and finally hit diamond. If you can avoid these common errors and focus on improving, you'll see yourself climbing up the ranks in no time as well. One of the most common mistakes in silver is pushing too far without gathering intel. You see your teammates pushing, so you think, I should be aggressive too. But if you don't know where the enemies are, that aggressive push can get you killed. It's easy to be drawn into the action, but remember, Valorant is a tactical game. Instead of rushing in, try to gather as much information as possible. Use your abilities or rely on your teammates' callouts. Communication is key. Don't go in blind. Play off the information you have and make your moves accordingly. One of the easiest things to fix is your crosshair placement, and yet many players still aim at the floor, walls, or too far from head level. The best practice is to keep your crosshair at head level, especially when moving around corners or peeking. You never know when an enemy will pop out, and if you're already aiming at head height, your reaction time will be significantly faster. Aim where you expect enemies to be so when they appear, you can react quickly and get the kill. While aiming is crucial, over-relying on your aim can be a huge mistake. In silver lobbies, players often try to rely on raw aim alone, even when they're out of position or don't have an advantage. Valorant isn't just about who's got better aim, it's about positioning, movement, and strategy. Instead of rushing into gunfights, focus on playing smart. Use cover, peek angles properly, and don't engage unless you have an advantage. Your aim will shine when you've already positioned yourself well. One of the most common and costly mistakes in silver is ignoring utility. Every agent in Valorant has abilities designed to help your team, whether it's flashes, smokes, or crowd control. Yet many silver players don't use their abilities effectively or forget about them altogether. Don't try to brute force every round. Use your utility to create space, deny vision, or force enemies out of strong positions. For example, if you're pushing a site, don't just run in, use smokes to block sight lines, flash enemies to take control of angles, and use recon abilities to gather information. Utility is just as important as aim in Valorant. Another huge mistake is a lack of communication. In silver, players often play solo and forget that Valorant is a team-based game. Whether you're talking about enemy positions, calling out your plans, or asking for assistance, communication is critical. Even if you're not the best at calling out, at least use your mic to give some basic info. If you spot an enemy, say something like, "One is B long," or "I'm flashing for you, go in." This not only helps your team make better decisions, but it also makes you a better team player overall. Poor positioning is another major mistake. A lot of players in silver make the mistake of standing in the open or out in the middle of a site with no cover. Good positioning means you can fight from an angle where you can retreat, use cover, or take advantage of enemy mistakes. Always keep in mind where you are relative to your teammates and what your escape options are. Use walls, boxes, and other objects to your advantage. Don't expose yourself to multiple angles at once unless you absolutely have to. Another common mistake is focusing too much on getting frags. It's easy to get caught up in wanting to show off your kills, but Valorant is a team game, and getting kills shouldn't be your only goal. If you're focused on getting the frag count up instead of thinking about strategy, you'll find yourself making mistakes like overextending or being caught out of position. Instead of chasing kills, focus on helping your team win rounds. If that means sacrificing your life to support your teammate, then do it. Valorant is about the objective, not just fragging out. Remember, playing smart and making the right decisions is what will win you the game, not just getting kills. Many players in silver tend to make the mistake of not adapting to the enemy team's playstyle. If you keep running the same strategy and it's getting shut down, maybe it's time to switch things up. Valorant is all about adapting, whether it's adjusting your attack or changing how you approach defense. Pay attention to the enemy team's habits. Are they stacking one site? Are they aggressive early in the round? Adapt to their playstyle and use that to your advantage. Flexibility in your approach is key to outsmarting your opponents. Not managing your economy is another critical mistake. In Silver, players often spend all their money on rifles even when it's not necessary. This leads to eco rounds where your team is left with pistols and no utility, making it hard to compete. Learn to manage your economy properly, understand when to buy rifles, when to save, and when to buy utility. A well-timed eco round can set your team up for a win the next round, while overspending can leave your team weak and vulnerable. And finally, tilting and having a negative attitude is a huge mistake. If you get frustrated and start blaming your teammates, your performance will drop. Valorant is a game that requires focus, and tilting will only hold you back. Stay positive, focus on improvement, and remember, it's just a game. Even when things go wrong, don't give up. Learn from your mistakes, focus on the next round, and keep your head in the game. By avoiding these common mistakes, overextending, poor positioning, ignoring utility and others, you'll be on your way to climbing out of Silver and into higher ranks. Keep practicing, stay focused, and always look to improve. Thanks for watching and good luck in your games.